So you're gonna know that this is for you if you're on a spiritual path, if you're shifting in consciousness, and if you're up for the ride of what we are doing here to expand in consciousness. Because it is it takes a trained eye to see this stuff. It's not something that just everyone can see. You have to have been through many lives to be able to see this. And that means that you've had to have been through many cycles. You can say cycles of suffering, but it is that. And once you see that it's suffering, and it's like a roller coaster ride. Once you've done it once and you get sick, you've had enough, you see? Then you don't want to go anymore. It's those things. And these cycles are cycles of behavior with people, with situations, what you accept, what you don't accept, how people say certain things and then you react, or that you defend, or like whatever the situation is. It's about, because all of that is just how you deal with a mirror. You can't tell a mirror to change. Or you can. You just can't expect it to follow your directions, really. Because everyone is self-governed. Whether you want to try and convince yourself that this is not how it functions, that's just because of projection of power onto other beings. These are especially important in partnerships and things like that, where it's important to know the purpose of why you're coming together, you know? Because if you're just together, floating, cruising, seeing what happens, that's not a good recipe for success. And it doesn't matter if it's romantic or whatever. It's important with honesty and authenticity. Develop that with a human being. Develop actual trust. And that means sometimes there might be things that are needed to go through, and not to this is the thing. Gaia uses anyone. It doesn't have to be a close connection. Gaia uses everyone like this. This is how it actually functions. What humans have done is sort of superimpose their own ideas about what things should be, are, etc., etc. And whatever you're superimposing on a reality, if you are superimposing, many beings are, because they have opinions. And how do you know if it's if it's energetic truth? It's because it's the truth of the body. If you share the truth of the body, that's really the key here. You know? And you follow that path. And when you follow that path, Gaia will use whatever she can to get through to you, to show you how you can improve. And you don't need anyone else to tell you what you should do in your own spiritual evolution. You can go to a coach and all of that stuff, but the most empowering is when you see it yourself, so that you don't need a coach telling you what you know, you are self you have self-autonomy over your own energy. And that's how it's meant to be. All beings have that innately. And that is truly the game here. To be so embodied as a soul expanded being, that you know and you can receive all of the channelings that you want, but that you choose the body's experience. That's when your life starts. Or continues. Because it continues or startles whenever you have misinterpreted certain situations in your life, perhaps. And it's very easy to do that, to have twisted perceptions about reality. Hurts, disappointments. Oh, why did he say this? Why did she say that? Oh, when this happened, then I thought this. For the body, there is a very tender, delicate honesty that if you are in alignment with that honesty in yourself, only then can you extend it to another. And then you know the purpose of why you're coming together. It is to honor that light within you. That is that light within you. And if someone is saying that they're doing something and doing something else behind your back, or not really telling, that's duality. That's people stuck in duality. That's just the fact. Because if you see two behaviors, one is spoken, the other one is not, duality. It's all about bringing that special gem of yours out, so that you dare to share your beauty, your innocence, your purity. That takes courage to do in a world like this. Was there more? Yeah. I think it just stopped because, oh, it's your turn, Kenneth. You were supposed to tell your story. This is what happens sometimes. So, yesterday, we were nudged. This is how it happens. This is how the process happens. Because we can channel and all of that, but like, how does it actually look? How do you actually do it? Because it can be easy to get caught in the mental frequency that's shared and what's actually spoken. But there is another frequency band, which is the frequency of the body, which is your feeler, the one that feels. All of your feelings comes from there. Not thoughts superimposed to generate feelings. That's different. We're talking about genuine feelings that comes from the body. And there needs to be sometimes we needed to go through a lot of clarification on this. Because we were saying, sort of projecting onto the body what it should do or shouldn't do, because of so much dominance and control in our upbringing. And we know we're not alone in that. And it takes a little while before you sort of filter through that, so that you can get to, we are past that stage, and we are feeling the body, and we have developed that, and we are now doing that and maintaining our light with other people. And so and this is the thing, so far we have shared very innocently many times, and we have felt that we were not received. That light. Some beings attacked, you know, like, because this is the thing also, like, beings don't know what to do with more light. Because what happens when a being have more light? The darkness shows up. Because what is not light will be revealed. And so that happens. And then the clarification, which is sometimes continuously, even if you are when you are practicing sharing your light. And so we don't want to be misunderstood. So we feel that we need to sort of be a little bit filter a little bit what we're saying in the beginning or something, but we don't want to do that. This is the thing, like we're a little bit like we are in the learning process of this, and the process of the body's awareness here, and we're receiving channeling every day to level up our awareness. That's really what we're doing. And so yesterday, Gaia nudged us through a being. And at first, it was all the past that came up. Like, just feeling like the outsider, like no one really, like people are just fake and no one's really there that really wants to have a genuine connection. You know, like it's just so much memories that we have. And we didn't want that. And then we went through a process of channeling with them, and then we went through a whole thing, pain in the heart. It was a whole thing that got reworked there from the body. And we made a video yesterday where we just filmed just randomly because we were just taken on this ride by Gaia. Because after we cleansed and started that process and recognized the truth, then the energy can start to flow deeper into the body. That's what we're doing with these Haya sessions. They are corrections of misperceptions so that we can see the reality clearly. And then, because we were introducing the past, because we had still had some pain there. And so once you feel through that pain and you allow that integration, when you have corrected the perception of whatever that was, then we felt nervousness about going and excitement. And that's a clear sign that Gaia is trying to get you out the door. And so that's what we did yesterday. And we went singing, and that was something that we wanted as well. We were like, we want to, because we could feel a little bit of constriction here because of where we are. That doesn't feel exactly the right environment to just like sing your heart out, you know, even though we did a little bit in the beginning. But then but this is the thing. This is also the muscle that we have to sort of go against, you see? It's this, this happens, and then you shrink down your energy. This is when you have to actually open and do the opposite. Make sure that you do sing, and make sure that you do make an effort when you feel to. It's not just to do it for the sake of doing it. Sometimes. But we like to follow Gaia. That's really our thing, to follow Gaia. And we had this whole dance with one being that we really appreciated. A being that was very authentic and actually did share that, she had that intact, that beautiful jewel that you take care of, you know? This is what we all have to take care of within ourselves and also within others, because it's only in when you truly recognize what that is, which is your light, your desires, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your excitements, your curiosities, your hurts as well. Like, oh, it's just the body. It's just the experience of the body. And when you share that, there is love and openness and communion. And we had this because when it comes to women, we have lost our power so much. And so we're healing that. And so what Gaia orchestrated for us was actually with this being, and just in frequency, her essence was sort of like, almost like dancing around and then leaving and then coming back again and then leaving. And we were like, we noticed these feelings in our body that usually we did in those situations, which is to follow. Oh, like there's some kind of like, in that energy, this was the practice for us, to stay in our own energy. As well as we were curious about that being, but staying in our own energy and acting from that place, from that self place, from that innocent place. We started like that, being able to share that, but then it got a little bit a little interference or something. And so we sort of, it was just what it was. And then we were sort of working on just what we could in the moment, you see? And this is where we have to just move forward with where we're at, because we don't really want to just fluff with people. We don't like that. We don't like when other beings fluff with us. So we don't want to fluff with other beings. And we are going through a reintegration with the body, with trust and people, because we have also been through a lot with the body. And so it's like we have to reintroduce it slowly to sort of like allow the body to open slowly again. And having it be okay if it's not safe, and just pulling back, you see? It's like, it's just the muscle of opening with someone else. That's really where what our body desires, to heal our heart. Like we can feel like there is like pain in the heart that we sort of want to access, that we find a bit tricky by ourselves, that we would like to manifest a partner to do with. Because some of these deep healings, especially in relation and when it comes to love and partnership, can truly only be healed by actually opening up again with another human being in that way. And that means we have to receive something that our body feels like, yeah, this is not like the rest, like this is a different frequency. What's this? And then it becomes more curious to open. And this is what happens naturally with the body. It opens when it feels safe, when it feels that it can trust, when it feels that it's in a safe environment. It doesn't just open usually in like groups of people, lots of different energies, especially not when it's like these spiritual events. They're great, we like them, but they are a level of pretend to be spiritual and more advanced and like loving than, but they're still sort of like, it's sort of like the other level of dualistic orchestration of the ego type of thing. We have to be watch out for that. That's a big one for many. And so in that sense, the depth that we are speaking of does not feel safe to open up in a group like that. Not really. But if it would be the right setting for it, we might feel dared to go there by Gaia type of thing. But it didn't feel like the right setting. It was more like a guided process. Anyway, all to say, that's what happened yesterday, and we are still this is our deep healing with the body, healing the past, right? But from an aware place. There are many that have not gotten the awareness, but they're still healing, and then people think that people are still healing, and what everyone is doing, if everyone is healing, then they're at the same level. There are different levels. You first have to comprehend what's actually going on, because unless you fully comprehend what's going on, you're sort of like fumbling in the blind. You know, it can seem like you're sort of fighting your shadows in the blind. But once you get aware, and you get aware by paying attention and seeing patterns and recognizing the truth of what actually happened in energy, which is for the body, not the stories of the mind that is like layered on top of, but actually the body's experience, that innocence. It's just, I was just hurt when you said that. It's things like that, you know? That's the beauty that we're all here to cultivate between one another. But for that, many beings are still going around thinking a lot, and people that feel and people that think a lot, I mean, no, that's not the right configuration there. People that are more embodied versus people that are in a dualistic perspective, sort of having double morality. It's sort of what it seems like, pretending one thing, doing another, those types of things. It doesn't fit with people that are starting to their embodiment journey, because unless there is a sort of a common agreement that, okay, you're dealing with that dualistic thing, I'm dealing with the embodiment thing, and I'm on my own self journey here, and I want to meet beings that are on that journey, and then come together from that. That's our excitement, because then we can really support our soul growth, not because we think that we are so much better than anyone. You know, there's a little bit of this coach-student mentality. Everyone wants to be a coach because that's seen as you got it figured out type of thing. You know, it's like there are many patterns that you can fall for, and all of them needs to be seen, and all of them needs to be adjusted. And we have adjusted a lot. And we're also sharing with you what we're doing right now, which is what we are working on. And this is it. We are working on our outing of this consciousness that what we have learned with how our energy system works and how we actually can be of service to other beings. It's very different from what people think is even possible. And that's what, we get it, that people project sometimes. And that's okay. That's all we wanted to share for now. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome. And we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.